Hello, friends. Welcome to the podcast. It's the JRPG Report, episode 132. And holy chocobo, guys. Straight out of nowhere, internet rumors were correct. We have been revealed. Final Fantasy XVI is a thing. It's coming, and it's coming exclusively to PS5 and in small quotations PC. Welcome to the podcast, guys. I can't help but be crazy excited about this new upcoming game, and we're going to give you all the details that we know about it so far, as well as my initial reactions to the 4-minute trailer that was unveiled at yesterday's PlayStation Showcase. They threw it out there right off the bat, didn't waste any time, so I'll kind of walk you through my experience with it. I was texting with my brother during it because we've done this for all the PS5 showcases. They've been really fun so far, and I'll be honest, when it first popped up, I texted this to him. I said, "Oh, it's just a new version of Final Fantasy XIV." And I wonder how many people thought the same thing, and rightfully so, because it is being made by producer Naoki Yoshida, or Ishida, I'm not sure, I'm terrible at Japanese, you guys know this, who is the director for Final Fantasy XIV. So that initial screens very much reminded me of 14. Obviously, it looks a lot better. At the very beginning of the trailer, it does say it is running on a PC emulating PS5 hardware or something like that, which makes sense as they've not had the system that long. They've been working on it for a while. The trailer is impressive, to say the least. If you have not seen it, you need to head over to the JRPG Report YouTube channel and check it out so you'll know what I'm talking about. Like I said, it definitely has a feel of 14, which is what they were going for. He has mentioned when it was rumored that he was going to be making this game that he wanted, this was a while ago, where is the quote, what they wanted? I'm sorry, I should have had this one. Basically, they wanted less machines and more fantasy in it, and that is certainly the feel. It has an earlier Final Fantasy feel to it. You're not going to see any cars in this one, and the crystals are back, and back in a big way in this one. The thing that's going to grab you the most from this one is they call them icons in this one, but the summons, they are giant and awesome looking and very familiar. So it's kind of really hard to tell what the trailer is going on about without any real context to it. I will tell you this, and maybe you feel this way, maybe you don't. Everybody's going to feel differently about this one. I am excited that this game is coming out, of course. As an old school fan, I was really hoping for something more in a turn-based battle system. However, I know that's not where they were going with it. I was hoping as well, if they weren't going turn-based, that maybe it was something more akin to FF7 remaster, remake. I enjoyed that battle system. That was fine. It appears, and this is just what I've watched the trailer like 4 or 5 times. It does appear, it does look a little bit more like 15. The character is even kind of warping around, doing some attacks. Not a true warp, but he's definitely flashing from point to point and going in very fast. And Gamitsu even says it is a single-player action RPG, so they're not distinguishing it as being anything other than that. And when you see it in the trailer, you're going to think it's an action RPG as well. The reaction has been quite mixed to it from people that I've talked to on Twitter and seen various responses to it. There are a bunch of people that are very excited, and there's also a bunch of people that are like, man, this is the direction I'm going. So the game has me hooked on its look, and feel. The story looks really cool, what they're trying to do there. And then you see it in action, and you're like, oh man, look at this awesome, like there's a Marlboro battle, and it looks incredible. But the guy is just zipping around like crazy, and also, obviously, this is just one trailer. You don't see anybody else in the battles. It is definitely, and at least in this one, it's actually one-on-one. I'm sure there'll be more monsters at some point, but there's that beast battle, and there's also a battle. It's more like a dragoon type character, and it is one-on-one now. Maybe these are just spliced, that there is actually a party element to it. So I am extremely torn about this, and I will err on the side of this is the first trailer, and it's meant to get you excited and not dismayed. So I will very much hold off any more judgment onto it. They say the next big reveal is going to be next year in 2021. I am a little surprised that it came out when it did, but being a PS5 quote-unquote exclusive, I'm also not surprised either. So here are the messages. First, from producer Yoshida. He says, Final Fantasy XVI producer, that's right, just producer, Naoki Yoshida here. How did you enjoy the trailer? The exclusive footage comprises of both battles and cutscenes running in real time represents but a fraction of what our team has accomplished since the development on this all-new Final Fantasy game. In that span, the team's size has grown from a handful of core members to a full-fledged unit that continues to polish and build upon what they have created so far, all to provide an experience unmatched in terms of story and gameplay. Our next big information reveal is scheduled for 2021, so in the meantime, I expect everyone to have fun speculating as for what we have a lot in store, not only for Final Fantasy 16, but also for 14 as well. Needless to say, we'll be working hard on both of those. And here is director Hiroshi Takai. He is the director. When Final Fantasy 1 was released, I was just another player, a young student with big dreams. By the time Final Fantasy V was in the works, I'd earned myself a seat at the developer's table, albeit at the very end. And from there, I moved online, leaving my mark on both 11 and 14, and now 16. From the establishment of this all-new development environment, from learning the in and outs of the PlayStation 5, the team and I have taken on countless challenges during our journey to bring you the 16th chapter in the storied Final Fantasy franchise. And though we're pouring our hearts and souls into this project each and every day, it may still be some time before you can get it in your hands. However, I promise it'll be worth the wait. I have speculated before. I didn't actually anticipate it being announced quite this early, but I've kind of ballparked it at 2024. I don't see any reason to really come off that estimate, because I do believe that Remake Part 2 is coming out before this game. Although, having seen it, it does appear to be at least further along than I thought it was. So, maybe we get it before that. I don't know. But yeah, definitely check out the trailer. I'd love to hear your guys' reactions on this one. We're going to be doing, later on today, I'm actually recording with Jordan for a Sunday special tonight. I'm going to get his thoughts on it. I've told him he needs to watch it, so hopefully he does. Otherwise, it could be a one-sided conversation. But one of the taglines of the game is, the legacy of the crystals has shaped our history for long enough. It does appear to be some sort of internal battle between different factions and what they want to do, which has always been kind of a storyline from the Final Fantasy games. Is you've got protectors of the crystal, and you've got those who want to destroy them. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But yeah, I'd love to hear y'all's reaction to it. It kind of, like I said, it blew me away. The mere fact that it was announced, I was not anticipating that, but I wasn't sure where this week was going to go. As I mentioned before, TGS coming up, I didn't think we'd get a whole lot. And instead, we have this giant bit of information to talk about, as well as tons of other stuff you guys are going to want to stick around to the very end of episode 132. It's going to be a good one. There were a few other games that were shown off during the PlayStation Showcase. There was a new trailer for Demon Souls, the remake of it, that come out. We've talked before about how I'm not really sure how JRPG-ish that is, and that's a question that I'm going to raise at the end of this podcast. Actually, we'll talk about that just a little bit later of, what exactly is that line? What do you consider to be one and what is not one? I've always kind of leaned towards the Demon Souls, Dark Souls games are not true JRPGs. People would argue against that, and that's okay. Anyway, that's the only one that came out of there, was FF16. Now, today we had the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. We've got some good things out of it before, and today did not disappoint. We've got more than a few things to talk about of it. And first and foremost is Disgaea 6 gets announced out of nowhere. We shared a few weeks ago that there was that image and that the game was probably going to be announced at some point. Well, it was announced today. Disgaea 6 Defiance of Destiny has been announced for it was announced for the Switch because this was a Nintendo Switch Partner Showcase. A few hours later, it was also revealed this is coming to PlayStation 4 as well, and is due out in summer of 2021. So, yeah, we're talking PS5. It's coming out. It was also announced it's coming out November 12th for you guys. $3.99 digital, $4.99 for the real system. And so there are going to be plenty of games coming out still for PlayStation 4. Don't think that just new system means the end of anything. So again, yeah, Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny, coming out. What does this say? We'll launch for both. Why does it say summer 2021? It's in. I see. Okay, so it will launch for both platforms on January 28th, 2021 in Japan. The West will get it in the summer. That's interesting. Did not realize that distinction. So here is the new all about it. This is the first new Disgaea game in 6 years. Meet Zed. He's a zombie that has risen above them all except for one, the god of destruction. Features such as super reincarnation, 3D visuals, which is a first for the series, and adjustable gameplay settings make this a perfect game for both new and old Disgaea fans. Here are the key features: from the grave to glory. Join Zed in his quest to rise above his lowly status and challenge a god of destruction. Along the way, meet zany characters, explore chaotic new worlds, and discover the power of sibling bonds and determination. They say it is undying and unstoppable. Experience over-the-top tactical combat, complete with insane special attacks and a wide variety of allies to choose from. And when things get too hairy, use super reincarnation to help keep you trying until you succeed. There is a netherworld for everyone. Play at your leisure and even on the go. With customizable gameplay features such as auto, retry, and replay, both new and returning players can cast an HL raising experience that fits their lifestyle. They say diving into the sky has never been easier. They mentioned in the trailer that went along for this, of course, everything we talk about is going to have a trailer from these showcases. I believe they said there were new level caps of like 99 million, or is that right? There's all kinds of craziness. You'll definitely want to check out the announcement trailer, but I think they say like damage can go up to like 999 quadrillion. Just numbers that don't make any sense. This guy has always been kind of famous for doing crazy stuff like that. Now, there also was an appearance from returning characters Fleon and Laharl. I'm not sure if I said those ones correctly. They both appear about the 46-second mark in the video. So while this is a new characters in the series, there's also going to be some returning ones as well. And of course, No game will be complete without a limited edition. So if you head over to the NIS America storefront, there is a collector's edition that you can pre-order for $99.99. There's also some more affordable items like a Cerberus plush, in case you don't quite have that. The collector's edition comes with a physical copy of the game and a steelbook case to hold it in. There's also the Defiance of Destiny soundtrack CD with music from the game and a behind-the-scenes art book. The pin set gives you pins of Zed, his sister Bianco, and their dog Cerberus. You also have a 28-inch by 40-inch cloth poster showing the whole cast from the game. There's also other merchandise in there. There's a 1,000-piece puzzle for $25. The Cerberus plush goes for $39.99. There's also a Zed's Squad shirt with the 3-character shadows on it for $30, and a hoodie will go for about $65. All those items will ship in summer 2021 along with the game in the West. So yeah, kind of big surprise there. Disgaea getting announced, and not too much longer. I mean, 4 months in Japan, it'll be out, and then summer 2021 in the West. So I know there's a lot of you guys out there that have been waiting patiently for a new Disgaea game. Some of the old ones have been re-released, so you've got something to kind of hold you over until then. So yeah, hopefully you guys are excited. Don't forget to check out that trailer over on the JRPG Report YouTube channel. Also, during the Nintendo Mini Direct, we got news of not one, but 2 new Monster Hunter games for the Switch. The first is called Monster Hunter Rise, and it will launch on March the 26th of next year. Here is the about via Capcom. Monster Hunter Rise is an action RPG that will transport players to the colorful Kamura Village, an all-new serene mountain locale that attracts visitors with its unique culture and innovative hunting technologies. After hunters equip their armor and select from one of the various weapon types, all new hunting grounds await, including the ancient shrine ruins and more. As players defeat monsters and progress through the game, items from fallen foes can be used to craft unique weapons and armor that will increase their chances of future success and survival. Hunters can tackle these challenges solo or with up to 3 other players in local and cooperative online play. Evolving the Monster Hunter series, Monster Hunter Rise will provide players with an innovative set of tools to track down and defeat threatening monsters. For the first time ever in a Monster Hunter game, wire-based grappling actions can be performed by using a wire bug while standing or in midair, adding an all-new level of aerial maneuverability to hunting strategies and attacks. The game will also debut new hunting partners called Palamutes, personalized and rideable Cayenne companions that will also provide players with a new set of attack options, while Feline Palacios will return as support characters for actions like healing. So it's got some cool stuff going on in this one. Of course, there is the announcement trailer to go along with that one. Looks like a pretty cool game. If you're interested in that, of course, you know where to go. Also, if you want a little bit more information and a little bit deeper dive into it, the developers hung around after the Direct for the Monster Hunter Direct, where they talked a little bit more about this game, as well as the next one we'll talk about in just a moment. There is a physical and standard digital editions for the game that will go for $60. A special deluxe edition and collector's edition are also being offered. The deluxe edition will go for $70. They'll have a DLC pack included in that. And then there is the limited collector's edition, physical only, for $99.99. We'll also include, a Monster Icon sticker pack, a Kamura Mark enamel pin, and an amiibo figure of the Magnamalio, which is the new flagship monster featured in the game, a fearsome foe indeed. So yeah, you'll want to check out all about this one. It looks pretty cool. I've never really been a Monster Hunter guy, but this one has been sorely missing from the Switch's lineup, so I'm glad to see it make its way over there, along with this other title, and that is Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. It will launch in summer 2021. worldwide. Of course, the announcement trailer for that you'll want to check out. I don't want to say it looks more kiddish, but it does have kind of a different art style to it. So here is an overview of the game. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin offers both RPG and Monster Hunter fans a unique new experience with a rich storyline featuring charming monsters, challenging quests, and friendly encounters with familiar monsters from the Monster Hunter series. Assuming the role of a young monster rider who can use a kinship stone to form strong bonds with monsters, players can gain experience and improve their skills to form deeper connections with these wonderful creatures. When ready, players can embark on a memorable adventure filled with dramatic events and heartwarming friendships as the epic tale unfolds. So yeah, there's a little more story involved in this one, hence the Monster Hunter Stories title. So yeah, you'll want to check that one out if you're looking forward to it. I believe this one is just for Switch, as far as I know right now. May get added to some different systems on down the road. And again, if you want to check out a little bit more about this one and the previous Monster Hunter title, you can check out that Monster Hunter Direct. I've got that on YouTube as well, so you can head over there for all your Monster Hunter info. We'll talk about this last game that was mentioned from the Nintendo Mini Direct, and then we'll take a brief pause. Probably wouldn't talk about this one as early as this in the podcast if it wasn't attached to the Nintendo Direct, but we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Rune Factory 5. It will launch for the Switch in spring 2021 in Japan, and then they say sometime next year in the West. That is publisher Xseed Games and Marvelous announced. Now, I know it's maybe not considered a true JRPG, but if you'll watch the trailer to this one, the battle system certainly looks like a tried and true. It is an action-based RPG, but it's got all those elements to it. You're going to say it's kiddish, and it's got the town-building elements to it, and the romance stuff, blah, blah, blah. I understand that, but I also understand there's a lot of people who like this one, and will be curious about it. So here is the about. A new stage, a new adventure. The curtain rises on the next chapter in the Rune Factory series. They say to set off on a grand adventure in a fantasy world. The latest entry in the Rune Factory Simulation RPG series. After losing their memory, the hero lands in a small town blessed by nature. There they are recruited into a band of peacekeeping rangers, and their new life begins. In addition to normal duties, a hero can farm the land, cast a line into a nearby river, and so much more. Team up with town folks to battle monsters and unleash powerful combination attacks. Just one of the new features to the series. So you can also hear the other features. Tame monsters or team up with town folks to explore a massive world. Defend the frontier and support your community as a member of the Peacekeeping Ranger group. Unleash uniquely powerful combo attacks with your teammates, cultivate crops in the field, and of course, find friendship, love, and family with a colorful cast of characters. And you can go check out the exclusive trailer for this one over on our YouTube channel. That's Rune Factory 5, coming to the Switch in spring 2021 Japan, worldwide sometime next year. So yeah, that's all that was announced, both at the PlayStation Showcase and then today's Nintendo Direct Mini. All that stuff coming out in the past 24 hours. I thought I might have a small podcast, but yeah, that's just the beginning of it. We'll be back with part 2 in just a few minutes after I take a brief pause and a word from our sponsor, Anchor. Welcome back, friends. We are ready for part 2, or second half of this JRPG Report, episode 132. My name is James Fisher. As always, thank you for tuning in each and every week. We took a week off from the Sunday special last week, but we'll be back with a conversation with Jordan going on this Sunday. Don't forget, if you just can't wait until this weekly podcast, you can, of course, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. All the stories I talk about are shared over there, and perhaps in more in-depth. You can see sometimes images as well with those stories. And if you will subscribe to us on YouTube, you can get a direct everyday feed of all the trailers that we talk about, in addition to some other things like a video version of this podcast if you would like to pretend to work and listen to this as you're going about your day. Don't forget to give us a review on whatever platform you're listening to. 5 stars would be preferred, and you can that'll boost us up the rankings. So coming up in just a few more days, starting on September 22nd, is the Tokyo Game Show 2020 online. One of the games that's going to be there, and we're actually going to get a new trailer as well as a first live look at gameplay being played on for Atelier Ryza 2, Lost Legends, and The Secret Fairy. But today we've got some new information, and they're introducing a few more of the characters. Returning is Lint Marsling, and image of him shows him even more buffed up than he was in part 2. He's grown his hair out a little bit, clothes are looking a bit ragged as well, and they say he is a wandering warrior on a journey to improve his sword skills. He is Ryza, Teo, and Boz's childhood friend. Now, 3 years ago, he left Kurikan Island on a journey to gain skill in combat. Whether it was a result of something that happened in the middle of his journey, his once cheerful demeanor has faded, and he now appears hardened. When he drops by the Royal Chapel, he runs into Ryza and friends who invite him to join them on another adventure. But it doesn't seem like... Well, it certainly shows plenty of screens with him along with the group. But, yeah, he doesn't seem to be quite the same person that he was, which is, without diving too much into the story from part 1, he definitely dealt with some weird stuff from his father in particular. But he is aged, and, as many of us do, things can tend to change us a little bit. So they talk a little bit more about the systems of the game, and in particular, exploring the ruins. Ryza embarks on a quest to explore the mysterious ruins that lay dormant around the royal capital in hopes of uncovering the truth behind the begone legends of the land. These ruins offer players unique puzzles to overcome, while discoveries made in the ruins unlock exciting new field actions, including the ability to ride monsters across the land. Ryza will have to rely on her exploration skills and her capable companions to guide her through the ruins. So that's pretty cool stuff. That's all kind of new stuff that wasn't in the first one. Some of the images going along with it show a pretty detailed map that was... I don't remember being like that in the first one, so that'll come in handy, to say the least. I'll put these images together into a little slideshow and share that on YouTube here in the next day or so you can check those out if you don't feel like scrolling through and checking them out on your own. Koei Tecmo, of course, will be at TGS 2020 and showing this game off along with some other ones, and they are saying an unannounced title is going to be shown there. Don't know if it's going to be JRPG related or not. Some other ones of interest to some of our listeners will be Monster Rancher 1 and 2 for Switch and mobile platforms, and maybe there'll be some announcements as far as those. There have been a lot of rumblings of people who have, in particular, I shared the Monster Rancher 2 trailer, and a lot of people are like, hey, we really want this game outside Japan. Don't know if that'll happen or not, but we shall see. So on September the 26th, is when that live stream for Ryza 2 is going to be going on. A new trailer and the first live gameplay for the game. So I will have that for you guys. We'll probably have to do a special podcast for that. Maybe we'll just have to wait and see when exactly all that comes out for TGS. The 26th is a Saturday. So I don't know if that's going to work or not. TGS always has some weird times and dates on things, so we may just bring you everything that we can next Thursday and wrap it up as best as possible. Maybe even be like a later Sunday podcast, just so I can get everything that's trickled out after that. You just have to be a little patient. We do like to usually have those Sunday conversations go on first thing Sunday, come out at 10 in the morning, but I don't see how that's going to be necessarily possible if that's kind of when I'm recording it. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see and play that one by ear, but I will keep you guys posted. Next week should be a lot of fun. We got a new trailer from NIS America and developer Falcom for Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. This one introduces all the characters, including the Crimson King, White Cat, the Doll, Raging Bull, Hawk, Renegade, and the mysterious Aprilis. So here's an overview of this one. I invite you to check it out because it is a very good trailer and gets you kind of an idea about what's going on with these characters. Of course, it has Adel the Red and his companion Dodgy arriving at Baldu. They say the name of the city in the trailer, and I've already forgotten exactly how they pronounce it. So while he is imprisoned in this new prison city, he meets this mysterious woman, Aprilis, who shows up and proceeds to shoot him and turns him into the monstrum, which I believe is going to be the Crimson King. So he'll be that in this version of the game. Along with the fellow monstrums, they need to fend off the fearsome threats emerging from the shadowy dimension called the Grimwald Nox, as well as unravel the mystery of this monstrum curse and the truth behind the unrest. So you'll get to play, I believe, 3 characters at the same time and choose which one of these 6 characters that you'd like to play as. The trailer does a really good job of showcasing the different abilities. You'll need to use certain ones at certain times. I'm sure you'll have your favorites, but you'll need to, like White Cat can scale up the sides of buildings. You'll need that for certain plays. Which one was it? Renegade, I believe, can kind of see through walls and see treasure chests, so that could come in handy at times as well. So you'll want to check that trailer out, and hopefully that'll get you excited about this one as it's finally making its way west on February the 2nd of 2021 in North America, February 5th in Europe, and our Oceania friends get it on February the 12th. That's for PlayStation 4, of course. Switch and PC owners, you got to wait a bit longer. It's not going to be until summer of 2021. As promised a little while ago, we got some new information about the August announced new Neptunia game called Go 5 Gingan Game Neptune Reverse. Like I said, I'm assuming we're going to get a new version of that name when it comes to the West. Compile Heart's newest game for the PlayStation 5. This is going to be the first entry in the series based on the May 18th released Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1 Plus, with additional arrangements, the latest issue of Weekly Famitsu revealed. And here are those first details about the game. Up to 4 characters can participate in battle. In addition to the original mode, which is similar to the original game, there is an arrange mode with a reworked game balance. Over 20 characters are available to use from the start of the game, regardless of progress. Stats and skills have been revised. A tutorial voiced by Neptune has been added. And there is now a fishing minigame called Game Fishing. It has been added, which is an important element in the arrange mode, apparently. You can read the scenario text from the original game as well. Release date has yet to be announced. So yeah, you can check this one out at some point. I think it may be a while before we get it. If you choose to pre-order this one, at least in Japan, you will get a download code for Neptunia Shooter, which was a May 2019 released PC game. So I'm not sure if that's going to be available in the West or not. Most of this information is, of course, about the Japanese version of the game. So yeah, this is a definitive version of Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1 Plus. It's not necessarily a brand new game, but it's going to be a PlayStation 5 version of it. We'll have to see how this one looks as we get a little bit closer to, well, whenever this one is actually coming out. Speaking of actual release dates, though, we got Phantasy Star Online 2 Episode 5. It will launch on September the 30th in the West. Our friends over at Sega announced. Episode 5 brings quite a bit of new content and features. You can now raise your player level cap to 90. There are new ARCs missions, new seasonal events, new alliance quarters, new exciting titles to earn, new collection folder, new quest types, new areas to explore, new S-grade augments, the ability to transfer S-grade augments, and the ability to add an L-ring skill up to 12-star units. You can check out that announcement trailer. It doesn't show a ton of information. It's more just a video announcing that this one is coming. You can get this on Xbox One or PC in the West, and available for everything in Japan. Still no word on whether this one's actually going to make its way to Switch or PS4 in the West or not. And again, that's episode 5 of Phantasy Star Online 2, coming to the West on September the 30th. The latest entry in the Mercenaries Saga tactical simulation RPG series, Mercenaries Blaze, Dawn of the Twin Dragons, will launch on the Nintendo eShop on October the 1st in Japan. This is for the Switch. Developer Radeon announced a PlayStation 4 version has yet to be dated. There was a debut trailer for this one. If you'd like to check it out, head over to our YouTube channel. You can do that. Not any more information about that one, but it's at least coming to Japan. Once I hear about a Western release, if there is one, I will pass it along to you as well. Got another debut trailer. This one is for the sword creation action RPG Magnum Lord. It's from D3 publisher and developer Felistia. And they have also opened up their website so you can check out more information about this one. They say, in a world where immortal gods and demon lords fight to no end to dominate the realm, the demon lord of swords, who can mutilate and destroy even such high-ranking beings without question, was strongly viewed by both sides as the enemy of the world. Eventually, the demon lord of swords became surrounded by an alliance of gods and demon lords, and he was on the verge of being sealed by the supreme god of light in his mighty fist. However, there were other plans. This one looks interesting. I don't know. It kind of has... I want to say it kind of has a Disgaea look to the characters, but that's not really true either. Just have to wait and see. I would invite you to check out the trailer for this one, because it'll kind of show a little bit better than I can describe. Unique looking game, kind of has some cool little JRPG elements to it. There's a lot of information about the characters in that, so if you want to check it out, you can do that. I've got the link on the Facebook and Twitter page if you'd like to read a little bit more into this one. It's like I said, this is the first thing that we've really learned about it, so there's not a whole lot of information out there, but you can check it out and see if it's something that you want to get into a little bit more. Tomorrow, September the 18th, Square Enix will announce the Japanese release date for that mobile game version of Octopath Traveler, Champions of the Continent, along with a new trailer. So I wouldn't say it looks as good from the screenshots that I've seen, but it's pretty darn close to that Octopath Traveler look. A little bit less in terms of graphical quality, which is, I would think that a high-end mobile device could reproduce that look. So maybe it's been shaped up. We'll see once we get that trailer coming out tomorrow. There is a new song that's been released as the game surpassed 500,000 pre-registrations. You can check that song out on our YouTube channel. And I'll bring you guys this news next week, I guess, when we get that actual release date. We get the announcement about the announcement. Those are always fun to go over. There's also a ton of new images released for Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster, this time featuring the reasons, characters, and the city districts. So if you'd like to check that out, I've even done you the favor of putting them all together into a slideshow through some YouTube music behind there, and you can check that out, all the new images. The game continues to look pretty cool, It'll be coming out for PlayStation 4 and Switch on October 29th in Japan and spring 2021 in the West. I would read to you the characters and city districts, but I can't pronounce any of them. I would do it no justice at all by trying to do that. Lastly, we got 4 new trailers for Genshin Impact as we get closer to that September 28th release date. 2 of them were story trailers, so if you don't want to check those out, I understand. They're not really going to ruin anything for you. Just kind of give you some background before the game comes out. Now, we talked last week about the those 3 new characters, and I was like, I think only this one's going to be playable. This is the only one that we have any information for and shown in battle. Well, I was incorrect, as both Keequeg, I guess that's how you say her name, and Mona are both playable characters, and there are trailers showing them in action. Mona definitely has much more magic to her, and I'll be honest, looks really cool in terms of some of the effects that she can do. She is an astrologer, but she's got quite a good bit of magic. Whereas, and I guess I'm saying this correctly, Keequeg, Keqing. So anytime you got a Q without a U, it's a little bit weird. Now, she is a fast action sword wheeler, but also has some magical properties to her as well. So I'd invite you to check those trailers out if you are looking forward to this one. If you are tired of hearing me talk about it, you shouldn't have too much longer, as the game will be out and I'll be enjoying it for free on my PlayStation 4. That has always been one of the draws about this one, is it's a free-to-play, looks really cool. I enjoyed the beta, and I'm very much looking forward to playing it to hold me over until Cold Steel 4 comes out at the end of October. It's hard to believe it's going to be that close away. So the last thing I kind of want to touch on, and I know the one story I'd shared on our Facebook group was going to be talking about Persona 3. I'll save that conversation for another day when we've got a little bit less to talk about. As maybe we get some more information at Tokyo Game Show, even perhaps. That'd be kind of cool. So I'm in that kind of weird limbo stage. I'm sure you guys go through this where, you got a game coming out in a week or two, and you beat the game that you've been playing for a while, and you're like, well, what am I going to do? Do I want to get into a really long game? I know I really don't have enough time to beat it before this new one comes out that I want. That's always the struggle. And the backlog, that's what it's for, but then you have to still make that decision of what do you have time to play and what do you want to play. I just wrapped up Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, first and second chapter. I'm not playing the third one, as I know it's long, and even Jordan has told me I should play it, and I will play it. I know I don't have time to just yet before Genshin comes out. And from what I've heard, it's kind of just a filler in. It's not necessarily required to play, so I'm not going to. I'll just put it off. So I've been staring at my collections and backlogs and going through the digitals to decide what I want to play. The struggle is real. My wife just, she's like, don't you have anything to play? It's like, yeah, I've got all these things to play. What do I want to? And I finally decided on one, and I think it's going to be just the perfect length, and hopefully some of you guys rejoice when you hear that I'm going to try to knock out in the next 11 days or so Nier Automata. I got into it last night, and I thought I would enjoy it. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. It is such a unique game, and first and foremost, it is the very blurriest line of JRPG I've ever played. It has a few elements to it that I think can easily put it into that category, and then it's got a whole lot of them that pushes it way outside of what we consider to be one. But what's more important is it's a ton of fun. It's one of the most unique gameplay experiences I've ever done. I mean, the very first thing you do is basically a top-down shooter game. And don't let that turn you off, as I enjoy those games anyway. And it quickly turns into a couple different things. It shifts perspective on you quite a bit, whereas most of the time the camera is falling behind you for third-person combat. A couple of times it kind of takes that isometric view to it, even top-down, and can actually turn some battles into shooter-type battles overhead as well. Like, I've never played anything like it. The boss battles are so over the top and fun. So I'm after one night, I'm officially recommending you play this game if you've not already. You're going to have probably the same reaction that I do, as like, okay, I see all this. It's fun, and it, like I said, it really opens up the debate on what a JRPG is and what it can be. I don't know what to classify it as other than a action RPG out of Japan with a ton of different elements to it. That's a lot of fun. I am hooked immediately. I hope it doesn't take me too long to beat. I don't think it will. But any of you guys who have played it before can at least kind of sort of understand what I am talking about. So if you're curious about it, I'll be live streaming it most nights. Not tonight because we're going to be recording, but most nights. And if you want to check it out or check out my replays, it'll be on YouTube as well. So yeah, that's that. We got Tokyo Game Show starting next week. It's hard to say exactly how much we're going to have come Thursday, but whatever we do, it's going to be exciting. I didn't anticipate today's podcast. Like, the past 24 hours took it from a pretty good podcast to so much information, and we've kind of just barely scratched the surface on some of these things. And I hope you guys will enjoy our Sunday conversation. Me and Jordan will be talking a lot of Legend of Heroes, but I want to get into Final Fantasy XVI a little bit with him, and invite you guys to give your feedback as well. I'd love to hear it. Maybe we can talk about it in a future podcast. Don't forget, if you've got a listener review for a game you played recently, or even, just any great JRPG, I'd love to hear it. It'd be cool if it was something that was recent that we talked about, but like Jordan's doing one on the Geofront translation and mod for the Crossbell game in The Legend of Heroes, which is not easy to do, and there's a bit of a technical limitation to it, so I'd love to hear his thoughts on that. So obviously that's a game that came out quite a while ago. So if it's something you played, just a great JRPG for the first time, and you want to give a review for it, I think that'd be kind of cool too. You can type it out, or you can record it, either one. It's up to you. So that's going to do it for episode 132. Hope you have enjoyed it, and we will see you guys again in 1 week for Tokyo Game Show. My name is James Fisher. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, get back out there and level up.